If Frankie Drake had been a real person, she likely would have known about Spadina House, the stately home just across the road from Casa Loma. Frankie is a TV detective who solves mysteries in 1920s Toronto. Spadina House is now a museum that showcases the period of 1900 to 1930 through the lives of the well-to-do Austin family. Two have come together for a free exhibit that will continue through 2018 called Making History: The Women of Frankie Drake Mysteries in 1920s Toronto. Guests at Spadina Museum's Gatsby Garden Party, many in 1920s garb, wait to pose with a Ford Model T, courtesy of Frankie Drake Mysteries producer Shaftesbury. Summer Lee, a display case compares the main character of the series, Frankie Drake Mysteries, to real-life 1920s women at the Spadina Museum. The decorative screen at the right was sourced from the former Eaton's College Street store. Steve Russell, Toronto Star. Visitors to the Gatsby Garden Party at the Spadina Museum check out a display about Frankie Drake Mysteries character Nora Amory, a con woman. Steve Russell, Toronto Star. Among the items sourced by Christina and Allie Jennings for the Women of Frankie Drake Mysteries was an old book that could be hollowed out to hold a gun. Steve Russell, Toronto Star. It ties in the fact and the fiction, said Christina Jennings, CEO of Shaftesbury, which produces Frankie Drake Mysteries as well as Murdoch Mysteries, another period show set in Toronto. The point of the exhibit is to teach people something about the history of the city as well as stoke their interest in the TV series. This is one of the great houses left, Jennings added. I'm very pleased with how it came together. Article continued below. Toward the exhibit during its opening last weekend at the Spadina Museum's annual 1920s themed Gatsby Garden Party. In the basement of the house, built in 1866 for Consumers Gas founder James Austin and his family, the exhibit mixes props and photos from the TV series with real 1920s artifacts. So, for instance, a display about Frankie, played by Lauren Lee Smith, includes photos of the character, an independent single woman who served as a dispatch rider during the First World War and founded her own all-female detective agency back home, alongside photos of real female war veterans, as well as women boxing and riding a motorcycle, both things Frankie does in the show. The exhibit also highlights other characters from the series: Trudy Clark, Chantel Riley, who was working as a maid when she met Frankie and joined her agency; Mary Shaw, Rebecca Lydiard, a police morality officer, the only policing job open to women in the 20s; Flo Chakovitz, Sharon Matthews, a morgue attendant who's studying to be a doctor, and Frankie's con artist mother Nora, Wendy Cruson, and Chinese restaurant owner Wendy, Grace Linkung. Jennings and her sister Allie went on a treasure hunt to find items for the exhibit at the behest of its designer, Sandra Kaibartas. Among the artifacts they turned up, a lacquered Art Deco divider screen from the former Eaton's College Street store, a 1920s radio lent by an Innisfil man who specializes in repairing antique radios, a blue 1920s Corona typewriter. Typewriters were black up until the 20s, a police truncheon and a cigarette lighter, both found in London's Covent Garden Market, two vintage mahjong sets, turn of the 20th century mortuary instruments, and a locket with a photo of a woman holding a revolver. It is extraordinary how you can find these things, said Jennings. What I love is it really brings it all to life. The Spadina Museum will be featured in an upcoming episode of Frankie Drake, which is now in production on Season 2, debuting Sept. 24 on CBC. The museum, at 285 Spadina Road, is open for guided tours Tuesdays to Sundays, and holiday Mondays. See toronto.ca for information.